and welcome. Our study of the scripture starts today, and thank you to all of you for joining. Please don't forget to join further. I thought, why not start with the topic of Guru? We all know generally that Guru means a teacher or a spiritual guide, or even one that teaches us anything that's beneficial to us. Like even at school, we may call the teacher our Guru because we've learned something from him or her towards advancing in our life. Or even a little child can be our Guru, or even any living entity can be our Guru. Nature is our Guru because we learn so much from nature. But particularly today, because we are dealing with spiritual topics, I want to talk about Guru as the spiritual teacher. So to understand the principle of Guru is not an easy task at all. In fact, it's a very, very deep matter. So Guru is a noun in Sanskrit, and Guru therefore comes from the root Gu, meaning darkness or ignorance, and Ru meaning the remover of that darkness or ignorance. So one very well-known prayer is Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, meaning that I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and I'm offering pranam or offering respects to my spiritual teacher, my Guru, who removes that darkness of ignorance in me and shows me the path back home to Godhead. So isn't that beautiful? Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So now, that is a beautiful verse that we can spend hours talking about each word, each Sanskrit word and their roots. It's very interesting, but suffice to say now that Guru as a spiritual teacher is that personality who gives us shelter and removes our ignorance by giving us knowledge so that we can grow spiritually and transcend this material world and go back to Godhead. Now, interestingly, in this verse, we are offering our pranam, our respects, at the lotus feet of the Guru. These three words, the lotus feet, are very, very interesting, and that's what we're going to discuss today. Are you ready? Very often, wherever you read, you will come across these terms: the lotus feet of the spiritual master, the lotus feet of my teacher, the lotus feet of my Guru. Why lotus? Well, we all know the lotus flower. Okay, the lotus flower grows in water, but it grows above the water. The stem lifts up, and then you have this beautiful lotus that unfolds. Okay? Now, did you know that the bumblebee collects honey from many flowers, but their most favorite flower that they look for is the lotus? Why? Because the honey that they get from that lotus, that nectar is, it's just too sweet. The rasa, the nectar flowing from the lotus, the bumblebee goes looking, especially because it gets the special honey from the lotus flower. So we as disciples should be like this bumblebee, right? And go and look for that particular teacher whose knowledge will be able to give us the ability to go back home to our eternal home. So we should be like that bumblebee. Now there is something more interesting for you. So I already said that the lotus is in the water, but the stem is up and the lotus unfolds, right? So the spiritual master is like that. The lotus is not touching the water. In the same way, the spiritual master, our Guru, is not affected by the material world, although he appears here. He appears in order to save us. Okay? He's not affected by the material world. And just like the lotus, he is also standing up there bright and powerful and effulgent, waiting for us to surrender and take shelter. And that is why we refer always to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. It's an analogy. Isn't that beautiful? So when we meditate on the lotus feet of our Guru, we begin to feel the rasa that is coming out of those feet. And it is that rasa that actually gives us our peace and our nourishment. Therefore, you must learn to always meditate on the lotus feet of your spiritual master, because therein lies all the nectar. Always remember, the bumblebee goes searching, 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 and finds a lotus and poof, goes diving in and brings out that honey. Like that, we should be also. Search for the spiritual master and focus on all the knowledge and the teachings he gives us. Meditate on his lotus feet so we too can get that nectar. So I'm going to say namaste for now. There will be part 2. You can look forward to that. And part 2 is going to be more on the bumblebee. Yes, it's going to be very exciting. We're going to go deeper and deeper into this topic. And I want you to please do me a favor. If you liked this video, please share the link with others and invite them to join this channel. I hope to be, more involved in this kind of sharing nectar. And I also want to please request you that please do comment. Your comments help us to understand whether we're going in the right direction, whether we are fulfilling what we want to do. And in other words, that we are here together. So if I'm presenting, your feedback is going to help me to tell me whether I am doing it properly or not, and what more you would like to hear. So please do that as well. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you the next time. Namaste.